History is full of firsts.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Many of those firsts shaped our way of life. For 70 years, KPRC Channel 2 has been proud to be pioneers in shaping television and Houston history.
In a state the size of Texas, I hope everyone can enjoy.
Causing the storms Thursday. Minutes before 9 o'clock, the crew's here telling her.
This is the first time in a long they had 11. Send us some of your pictures.
Isn't it good to work for a place that has a sense of history? And indeed it is.
See, taking the president from Spring to College Station following.
If you have something you'd like Channel 2 Investigates to check out, call the tip line at 713-223-TIPS or email investigates@click2houston.com. Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News Midday.
Right now at midday, a wrecker driver crashes into a ditch after being shot in North Harris County. What we know about the victim and the latest in the search for the shooter.
Plus, new charges in an alleged drunk driving crash that claimed the life of an El Campo High School student. We've got details coming up.
Winter whiplash. A cold front is moving through, bringing rain and a drastic temperature drop. You're getting a live look at the conditions outside the KPRC studios. Meteorologist Britta Merwin standing by to tell us what we can expect this afternoon. But we begin with a wrecker driver shot in North Harris County. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Andy Sirota.
Good morning. I'm Tanaya Wright. Investigators say they discovered that driver while responding to a crash at about 6:30 this morning. This all happened on Spring Stubner and Spring Plaza. Channel 2's Vincent Crivelli joins us now live from the scene with the very latest on the investigation. Vincent.
Tanaya, good morning. Authorities say that this repo truck driver was just doing his job. He took possession of another vehicle and was driving away, then gunfire. The repo truck's back window shot out. One bullet struck the driver in his chest, and the truck crashed into this ditch.
But he's in good condition. He's stable but critical.
Casey Allison of Coast to Coast Motors says the driver, Posey Cowart Jr., repoed the car nearby and was on his way back to the dealership when someone opened fire, critically injuring Cowart.
Posey is a fantastic employee. He's been with us for a few years, many years in the repossession business. Military vet, just an outstanding person.
For hours, investigators searched for evidence before hooking up and towing away the vehicles. Cowart's truck has cameras on its front and back. Right now, authorities are reviewing that footage. And authorities are still searching for the shooter. The first person they want to speak with is the previous owner of the car that was repossessed. Reporting live in Spring, Vincent Crivelli, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Thank you for that update, Vincent. Well, after months of investigation and debate, the impeachment trial of President Trump will come to an end today. The Senate will vote this afternoon on 2 articles of impeachment, and barring the unexpected, the president will be acquitted on both counts.
Yeah, this comes a day after the president's State of the Union address, which had many contentious moments. NBC's Chris Pallone reports.
Under God. In the Senate, the last few floor speeches as the constitutional crisis that gripped the nation for months winds to an inevitable conclusion, the acquittal of President Trump.
Party loyalty over country has infected this chamber.
As this day began in Washington, the buzz was not about impeachment, but of President Trump's third State of the Union address.
It was undignified, it was highly partisan, and in too many places just untruthful.
A made-for-TV event that perfectly reflected the acrimony of a divided Congress and nation. It started with an unmet handshake and ended with a disdainful rip. In between, shout-outs and giveaways that only a former reality TV show host could conjure.
You will soon be heading to the school of your choice.
Awarding a scholarship to a student seated in the gallery, reuniting a military family with their deployed husband and father, and honoring talk radio host Rush Limbaugh with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. After her very public display of displeasure, Speaker Nancy Pelosi called the address a manifesto of mistruths.
It was the courteous thing to do, considering the alternative.
The president spent the morning retweeting supporters slamming the rip seen around the world. Against that backdrop, the Senate gathers for its final judgment on President Trump. The only real drama waiting to see which senators buck their party and risk angering voters or the president. Given the current makeup of Congress, it would be very unlikely in an election year to pass any bipartisan, meaningful legislation. But now with the impeachment trial and a very contentious State of the Union address, those prospects are even smaller. In Washington, Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Winter is coming back with a vengeance, at least by our standards.
Yes, but the good news is, as Britta has been saying, it's only going to last a few days.
Exactly, a really short window of winter weather. And like Andy said, this is Southeast Texas winter weather. So it's a little easier to take on when you take a look at some of the videos that we've been seeing of what this storm system has done out in the Rockies. Let's take a live look at our radar. We have a little bit of fine mist out there, but notice these thunderstorms that are bubbling up. They are not into our area, but just off towards Lufkin, even the state line, they have severe thunderstorms that are bubbling up. So if you are traveling out to the east of Interstate 45, that's the best chance of seeing thunderstorms. We'll see a few showers as we go into the afternoon. Meanwhile, we still have a lot to get through. The upper level support with this system is still off to the west, and that's going to bring in a round of showers as we go into tonight's forecast. Right now, it's chilly, it's damp. If you haven't been outside yet, do not forget your coat or your umbrella. Our temperatures right now are in the 40s. We started off today at 70 degrees in Galveston. The cold air finally arrived on the island. We're down to 54, and that's just the beginning. This is a 32-degree temperature drop in 24 hours for Montgomery County. I mean, this is definitely a bona fide cold front. It's going to be very chilly as we go throughout the afternoon. There's a live look at the Southwest Freeway. Our camera shot bobbing up and down the wind, so it's breezy as well. We'll keep in those chances of rain as we go into the overnight forecast. Notice that our temperatures just continue to go down. In fact, we're expecting 30s as we head into tomorrow morning. But could we see, yes, I'm going to say it, a little bit of snow? We'll take a look at those chances still ahead. Tania, over to you.
All right, thank you, Britta. And remember, you can track these temperatures anytime you want. Just download Frank's free forecast weather app. You just search KPRC in your Apple or Android app store. We are following some breaking news this midday on dozens of people injured when a plane skidded off the runway at an airport in Turkey. Look at this wreckage. These are live pictures from that airport right near Istanbul, where that plane crashed into a field and then broke into several pieces. The governor of Istanbul says 52 people were injured. The plane briefly caught fire, but that fire has since been put out. We will, of course, continue to follow this breaking story on air and on clicktohouston.com.
New developments in the crash that killed an El Campo High School student. 3 people are now facing charges related to this crash. Police say Edith Melendez served alcohol to minors. Lee Trevino Jr. is accused of driving while drunk. A third adult who allegedly served the minors is also facing charges. That crash happened on Lum Road in Fort Bend County on January 12th. James Russell O'Canis died when investigators say Lee Trevino Jr. crashed his car into some trees.
And we'll make sure people who are responsible for the death of James O'Canis will be held accountable. If you have a business in Fort Bend County and you serve alcohol, be on notice that we will hold you accountable if you oversell alcohol.
Everybody deserves to be able to drive their car and get home. That didn't happen here.
Authorities are now looking for the third adult in this case.
Now to a developing story. Right now, a judge is getting ready to hear a motion to consider whether David Temple should be granted an entirely new trial. This would be his third trial. Back in August, a Harris County jury convicted Temple of murder and the 1999 death of his pregnant wife, Belinda. But the jury could not agree on a sentence. So a new jury is supposed to be called in to decide on a punishment. Temple was originally convicted of murder back in 2007 and served 9 years in prison before a judge tossed out that conviction. Bond was set overnight for a man charged in the shooting death of an 18-year-old in Atascocita. Broderick Papillon is charged with murder. The shooting happened on Sunday morning right near Itasca South Street and Tree Line Drive. According to court documents, when officers asked the dying teen who killed him, he said P. Investigators later linked Papillon to the crime after witnesses told them that his nickname was P. A judge set his bond at $75,000. He is due back in court tomorrow.
Reaction is still pouring in this morning after the Board of Regents at Texas Southern University voted to fire the university's president, Dr. Austin Lane. The hours-long overnight vote came after an investigation determined Dr. Lane failed to report evidence that a student paid for admission to the university's law school. He is also accused of trying to hide excessive entertainment expenses. Lane says he plans to fight every allegation against him.
We have a traffic alert to pass on to you this midday. The Waco Street Bridge will be closed at I-10 starting tonight at 9 o'clock, and this is all for reconstruction. Officials say that bridge has been hit 16 times in the past 2 years. Crews will start demolishing that bridge on Friday. All main lanes eastbound and westbound on I-10 East from Waco Street to Gregg Street will be closed. That bridge should be reopened by 5 a.m. on Monday. All right, in sports now, a last-minute shakeup for the Rockets right before the trade deadline.
A lot of people are talking about this today. The team made a four-way trade last night. Clint Capella and Nene are going to Atlanta. Houstonian and first-round pick Gerald Green is headed to Denver. Nene and Green haven't played this season due to injuries. The team will get wing defender Robert Covington and Jordan Bell, both from Minnesota. The NBA trade deadline is set for tomorrow at 2 p.m. Banned from baseball, but trying to get back in the game.
That's right. Coming up, the moves Pete Rose is making to be reinstated and how he's using the Astros sign-stealing scandal to make his case to the MLB commissioner.
Containing the spread of the coronavirus, thousands of people both here in the U.S. and abroad being quarantined this morning.
And devastation in Turkey. An avalanche claims nearly 24 lives. What do we know about the victims? Next.
You're watching Channel 2, Houston's home for news.
Turkish officials say a second avalanche has slammed into a mountain road in eastern Turkey, killing at least 23 rescue workers and leaving others buried under the snow. The emergency crew had been sent there in search of 2 other people missing from an earlier avalanche yesterday. A local governor says 30 emergency service members had to be hospitalized.
Now to the latest on the coronavirus crisis. 2 planes carrying American evacuees from Wuhan, China have now landed in the U.S. Those flights came to Travis Air Force Base in California at about 6 o'clock this morning. Passengers on one of those flights will remain at that airbase and be quarantined for the next 14 days. Passengers on the other flight are reportedly heading to Miramar Marine Corps Air Station that's in San Diego. Once they arrive, they will also be quarantined for 14 days. Meantime, upwards of 5,000 people are being quarantined on 2 cruise ships in Asia. The concern is that passengers and crew on those ships out of Hong Kong and Japan were exposed to the coronavirus by infected passengers. The coronavirus has infected more than 20,000 people in mainland China and nearly 200 others worldwide.
Caught on camera, a terrifying moment for a mother in Washington, D.C. A thief tried to steal her SUV while she was pumping gas. Her toddler was in the back seat. The gas station security camera video shows a man crouching down as he runs across the street and gets into the SUV as the woman holds the pump. She runs to the driver's side and grabs the door as the man takes off. Elroy Jacobs was on his way to work when he saw the woman being dragged down the street.
holding on to the door like this, and he was pulling her. She's hollering, "Go get my baby, he got my baby." And he didn't care or thinking about what was the consequences or nothing like that.
My goodness.
Wow.
Jacobs followed the stolen SUV and saw the woman fall off. He then saw the driver ditch the SUV, get into another vehicle, and leave. Police are still searching for him. The mom and toddler were not hurt.
Wow. All right, well, the Super Bowl champions celebrating their win at home today. A victory parade will be getting underway in the next 15 minutes or so. Oh, live shots there. Look at all the people lined up. This is in downtown Kansas City to celebrate the Chiefs. More than 1 million people already lined up to see this wonderful parade. The Chiefs won after making an epic comeback in the fourth quarter against the 49ers on Sunday. Final score, 31-20, and those people are braving some very cold oh, look at all of them, braving some cold temperatures. A winter storm has hit the Lone Star State, but you're not going to be seeing this here. West Houston got hammered with snow and sleet overnight. This was in Midland, Odessa. Drivers had to take it slow because it was kind of icy in places, and that's really scary to drive in the ice.
Yeah, it is. So before we get to what we can expect here in Houston, we want to take a moment to honor those who work hard to accurately forecast
like me.
and report.
I didn't know our producers were going to do this.
Always changing and often unpredictable weather.
I know. It's National Weather Person's Day.
Come on, let's hug it out.
I know.
Andy,
I can't reach. I'll just touch.
That's okay. Your hug. It works.
We'll eat Frank's cake
so
in a minute.
Sweet. Yeah, I mean, Frank has been talking about getting a cake for over a week. Frank, if you're watching, your cake is here. I can't guarantee that Justin and I aren't going to eat it because Justin's literally right over there over my shoulder. So we'll try and save some. There he is. There's
I want some
guy.
cake too.
So yeah, we'll do our best. It looks really delicious. But thank you for all the warm wishes. We appreciate it. Today is one of those forecasts where we are working overtime.
Yes.
The good news is it's not really going to slow you down that much, but it's really impacting your day. It is cold outside, especially compared to the near record-breaking high that we had, yes, get this, yesterday. It's unbelievable the changes that are taking place. So this is a live look over downtown. Very gloomy out there. It's damp. It's chilly. We do have showers and storms that are popping up around our area, and it is possible throughout this afternoon to see a passing shower. The best chance of those thunderstorms looks like it's going to stay off to the east of us, but we'll keep an eye on it. Meanwhile, off to the north and west, that's where the upper level support is. We still have snow over San Angelo. You know, San Angelo hasn't had snow in well over a year. So this is definitely a notable storm system that's moving on through. We're down to 45 degrees right now here in Houston, 54 degrees in Galveston. It was 70 degrees on the island this morning. So this is a big drop in temperatures, about 32 degrees colder than yesterday afternoon right now in Conroe. So bundle up out there. We're going to keep it in the 40s with breezy weather and a few showers, very damp weather continuing for the rest of the day. So it's not really going to improve. I do want to take you hour by hour with our rain chances. Again, showers are possible throughout the day, but the next batch of steadier rain showers is going to hold off until tonight. So this is 11 p.m. tonight. Showers moving through. I did draw a pink line here that extends from Columbus up towards the Lake Livingston area. Watch off to the northwest of that line. That's where we could see a few wet snowflakes trying to mix in. It's only a slight chance. If it does happen, it'd be between midnight tonight and about 5 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, and it would not impact the roads. Our surface temperatures are above freezing, so again, it's just going to be more interesting than anything else. But as we say, if you see it, send us a photo or video. We'd love to see it. Here in the metro area, we're going to keep it a chilly rainfall. We should be dry by sunrise, but Thursday is still going to be a chilly day. We're not going to have a real significant warm up until we get to this weekend, so be prepared. It's going to be a cold night. We're dropping down to the 30s. Again, we're going to stay above freezing, but 38 degrees is 38 degrees. We'll keep it in the mid-30s for Friday morning, and then our 2 days of winter will be behind us. I know, it's so hard for us living here in Houston to have 2 days of winter. 70s will be back before we know on Saturday and Sunday. And weather for the Galveston Marathon right now, it looks really lovely. We'll have cooler morning temperatures for the runners, a beautiful afternoon for them to celebrate with their family afterwards.
Wonderful. And you know, nobody feels sorry for us for those 2 days of winter.
Not at all.
No.
They're just laughing.
That's for sure. And you know, this is why we deal with 3 months of unbearable heat, so we can have a mild winter.
Yeah.
I know it's chilly right now, but it's not that bad when you look at the rest of the country.
Been a great winter.
Suck it up.
Far.
Yeah,
be
exactly.
over soon.
Well said.
Showing your sweetheart you love them this Valentine's Day can often come with a hefty bill. Just how much Americans are expected to shell out this year, and On what?
8 and 9.
Valentine's Day is a little over a week away, and Wallet Hub is out with its annual Valentine's Day spending survey. Americans are forecast to spend $27.4 billion on their sweethearts this year. Yeah. So that works out to about $196.31 per person celebrating. Men will spend nearly 3 times as much as women on average for Valentine's Day 2020. So where's all that money going? $5.8 billion will be spent on jewelry. Americans are projected to shell out $2.3 billion on flowers, and $2.4 billion worth of candy is expected to be sold.
Wow.
There you have it.
Everything
you need to know about Valentine's Day 2020.
You have just a few more days to go shopping.
That's right. So all this week, we're sharing what you ought to know about buying a new car.
That's right. And today we're talking about your trade-in and how to get the most money from your old vehicle. Consumer expert Amy Davis is here now with what you ought to know.
What your car is worth. That's what you need to know. And you'll get different offers from different businesses. Take a look.
This 2015 Audi A4 is in good condition. The NADA Kelley Blue Book value online shows it should fetch about $13,200 as a trade-in. But there are a lot of places that will pay you for your car, even if you aren't planning to buy one from them. At CarMax.com, when you type in a few details about your ride, it lets you set up an appointment to bring it in for inspection. Our visit took about 45 minutes before we got an offer.
Based off of all of this, we were able to offer you $13,000 for it.
Okay, great.
How does that sound? Questions, comments?
No, it's in line with what I expected.
What he didn't expect was that Texas Direct Auto would offer $1,500 more. We didn't even have to drive there for an inspection. Both Texas Direct and CarMax will cut you a check the same day. If you wait, their offers are good for 7 days.
Getting those offers helped because when our coworker took his car to a local dealership to buy a new car, they offered him $14,000 for his trade-in. When he told them Texas Direct offered him $14,500, the dealership matched that price. I'm consumer expert Amy Davis, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
All right, thank you, Amy. Still ahead at midday, asking for reinstatement.
That's right. Pete Rose looking to get his name off of MLB's naughty list this morning. How he's using the Astros sign-stealing scandal to make his case to the MLB.
And I'm health reporter Haley Hernandez. Helicopter parenting is nothing compared to a newer trend, the name for parents who stop at nothing to make sure their children succeed, and why it's hurting the future generation. Coming up.
Now here's Channel 2 investigator Mario Diaz with a story you'll see all new tonight at 10.
As an investigator investigating public corruption, this would literally floor you.
$500,000. They put this in an email.
This is a smoking gun moment.
They should have called the FBI.
What this is indication that a crime occurred.
What did Channel 2 Investigates uncover? The investigation tonight at 10.
Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News Midday.
We are following breaking news involving the murder trial of David Temple. A Harris County judge has just ruled there will be no new trial in this case. In August, a Harris County jury convicted Temple of murder in the 1999 death of his pregnant wife, Belinda, but the jury could not agree on a sentence. So a new jury is supposed to be called to decide on a punishment. As we learn the next steps, we, of course, will keep you updated both here on the air and online. Andy and Tanaya back with you now with a look at some of the morning's other big stories.
A record driver is now recovering after being shot right through his truck. This all happened near Spring Stubner Road in North Harris County. Posey Coward Jr. had just repoed a car and was on his way back to the dealership. That's when they say someone shot him in the chest and he crashed into a ditch. He's in the hospital right now, listed in good condition.
3 people are now charged in connection to that crash that killed an El Campo High School student. Officials say Edith Melendez served alcohol to minors. Lee Trevino Jr. is accused of driving while drunk. A third adult who allegedly served the minors is also facing charges. That crash happened on Lum Road in Fort Bend County on January 12th. James Russell O'Canis died when Lee Trevino crashed his car into some trees. Investigators are looking for that third adult.
All eyes on Capitol Hill today as President Trump officially learns his fate this afternoon. The Senate is set to vote on whether to convict or acquit the president on 2 counts of impeachment. Republicans have the majority of the Senate, and so the president is expected to be acquitted. A conviction would require a 2/3 majority.
More than 24 hours after the caucus chaos in Iowa, we're starting to get a better sense of how that contest is shaping up. The numbers are not complete, but the initial figures show 2 candidates, Pete Buttigieg and Bernie Sanders, vying for first. NBC's Peter Alexander reports.
With the Democratic candidates already crisscrossing New Hampshire, the final tally in Iowa is still up in the air. The uncertainty and confusion preventing any of the candidates from claiming an all-important victory. Still, Pete Buttigieg and Bernie Sanders, neck and neck for first place, are touting the early results.
A campaign that some said should have no business even making this attempt has taken its place at the front of this race.
We received more votes on the first and second round than any other candidate.
After technical issues with a new mobile app derailed reporting the final figures from those caucuses Monday night, the head of Iowa's Democratic Party acknowledging the system breakdown was unacceptable.
As chair of the party, I apologize deeply.
While vouching for the accuracy of the results.
The one thing I will say is that the underlying data, the raw data, is secure.
The chaos reigniting questions about Iowa's outsized influence in the presidential process. Elizabeth Warren challenging the decision to release partial results.
They ought to get it together and release all of the data.
Joe Biden appearing to shrug off an apparent 4th place finish in Iowa, looking for a boost in New Hampshire.
I'd like you to rocket me out of here to make sure this thing works, okay? Because if I come out of here well, you guys are going to set the tone for the whole rest of the race.
The murky mess potentially offering an opening for Mike Bloomberg. The former New York City mayor, aides tell NBC News, will double his advertising spending in other key states. With eyes on Super Tuesday, less than a month away.
That was NBC's Peter Alexander reporting from Iowa.
Yes. All right. Well, it is gloomy right now. It's cold out, but it's not going to last too long.
No, and those temperatures, Justin, are continuing to tumble.
Yeah, they're no joke. I was kind of surprised, honestly, when I came in here and just checked them real fast, and Britta was like, oh yeah, we're about 45. I was like, whoa.
Like, what?
Really dropped out there. Yeah, it's breezy too, brisk, probably a good adjective, we'll call it that for the day. We've got 40 over in Katy, 45 at Bush, still 50s down in Galveston, but as she mentioned earlier, it was 70 this morning down on the island. They have dropped about 26 degrees now. We've also got some elevated thunderstorms starting to fire as you go over and towards Louisiana. We've got a couple north of Lufkin working their way just south of Dallas-Fort Worth. But yes, there's the snow too. And those winter storm warnings are still out across much of West Texas. If you're heading out that way, it's going to be a mess. Yesterday, the Guadalupe Mountains, which are way out towards El Paso as you're going towards Fort Stockton, they had blizzard warnings because they were talking about 3 to 5 inches of snow and winds going about 50 miles an hour. So pretty treacherous driving conditions from Lubbock to San Angelo all the way out. Now notice that Dallas-Fort Worth is only about 1 to 3 inches, but there is still a chance they could get a little bit of snow as well. But of course, for most of us here, it's just going to be the cold today. We've got temperatures out there in the 40s. We're likely going to stay that way for a good chunk of the rest of this afternoon. I'm not expecting much of a warm up. I don't think we'll see much sunshine either, and we'll keep the rain chances at basically at about 10 to 20%. And we're going to talk about that little wintry blip we might see early tomorrow morning. I'll take it in tight. We'll go hour by hour and show you where we think the best shot that may get some of that. And as tonight mentioned, when we get back to springtime, it's all coming up in your 10-day here in just a bit.
Thank you, Jess. And remember, you can track the forecast anytime you would like. All you have to do is download Frank's free forecast weather app. Just search KPRC in your Apple or Android app store.
Because of the ongoing threat of the coronavirus, 11 U.S. airports are now approved to accept incoming flights from China or passengers from China. In fact, the U.S. will bar foreigners with recent travel to China within the last 2 weeks. That screening is placing a strain, though, on airlines and on the passengers themselves. CNBC's Contessa Brewer reports.
It was a 2.5-hour experience of feeling like a rat in a maze.
A customs hassle for international businessman Ben Bickford, joining other foreigners arriving at JFK, some wearing masks, all facing questions about recent travel.
We were asked about whether we've been to China, whether there is someone else who came to my place, or did I interact with anyone who came from China when I boarded my flight in Mumbai, as well as when I landed here in New York.
Overseas, the airlines are responsible for the first step of enforcing the new sweeping travel restrictions, checking passports or digital itineraries for ties to China, possibly facing fines if passengers slip through.
She is very concerned because she feels very panic when the
stress and everything.
Because we don't know that what's going on over there.
The fear is now infecting even those dropping off international travelers and airport workers themselves, who told CNBC they've been cautioned to protect themselves with masks and gloves. 3 U.S. airlines have suspended service to and from China: United, American, and Delta, which hasn't scheduled its service again until the end of April. And the list of other countries with travel restrictions is long and growing, which means delays at departures and arrivals, missing and rebooking flights.
I've already spent more than $1,000 just in this visa process and with the delays that I've experienced since yesterday. And I slept on benches inside Frankfurt Airport last night to deal with this.
The Tokyo Organizing Committee CEO says the spread of the coronavirus could throw cold water over the growing momentum of the 2020 Games. He made that comment in a meeting today with the organizers of the Paralympic Games. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe says the government will work hard to minimize any impact from the virus outbreak on the Games, which start on July 24th.
And that is why we are in regular dialogue with the World Health Organization and the IOC. This is normal practice ahead of any major event and a games like this. We have full confidence that the relevant authorities, in particular in Japan, China, and the World Health Organization, will take all the necessary measures to address the situation.
A professor who looked at health risks ahead of the Games told Reuters vaccines against the virus probably won't be ready by the start of the Olympics. Several qualifying events have already been postponed due to the virus. New developments today in the Astros sign-stealing scandal. ESPN is reporting that disgraced former Cincinnati Reds manager Pete Rose is using the scandal as a reason he should be reinstated.
That's right. Rose sent a petition to the MLB commissioner's office asking for the reinstatement on Wednesday. In that 19-page letter to Rob Manfred, Rose and his lawyers argue that the MLB's reluctance to punish active players in cheating scandals opens the door to reinstating baseball's all-time hits leader. Rose has been banned from the game since 1989, when then Commissioner Bart Giamatti placed him on permanent eligibility list for betting on games. The MLB has yet to make a comment about that request.
It is an exciting time of year here at KPRC. We are kicking off our annual scholarship surprises.
Coming up, we are introducing you to this year's first well-deserving recipient.
The Philadelphia Flyers mascot is showing off his skills not on the ice, but on the basketball court. The heartwarming video next.
BC.
Welcome back. Today we are kicking off our 6th year of surprising high school seniors with money for college.
That's right. Over the next few months, KPRC and Texas Mattress Makers will be rewarding 20 remarkable students with $2,500 for college.
And it all begins right now with a young lady who is active in both theater and choir. Her resume includes everything from honor societies to a robotics team. And she's a regular volunteer at the Houston Museum of Natural Science. Anchor Christine Noel got to surprise our first winner of 2020 in her choir class.
It is officially scholarship season. I am here at Pearland's Dawson High School with Rachel from Texas Mattress Makers. How excited are you to kick off this scholarship season?
I'm so excited that we get to surprise 20 students this semester.
20 students, and let's go surprise the very first one. Good afternoon. I'm Christine Noel with KPRC Channel 2 News, and there is a very deserving student here for our scholarship. On behalf of KPRC2 and Texas Mattress Makers, our scholarship winner is Alyssa Grover. Come on out. $2,500. How does it feel to be a winner?
It feels great. Thank you so much.
We read your essay. Talk about your work at the museum.
I've been working at the museum for the past 4 years, so I teach little students in all sorts of classrooms, and I give tours and presentations to patrons, and it's really fun because I learned all sorts of things.
Have you picked a school yet?
I've not. I'm waiting for decisions still. Tell us about what you want to study. I want to do biomedical engineering so I can learn how to create regenerative medicine and stuff, and make tissues.
Smart girl. Let's hear it for Alyssa, you guys.
I'm Alyssa Grover, and I'm a senior scholarship winner.
Dream big, right?
I know.
Her smile lit up the entire room.
She was like, oh my gosh, money for school. That's amazing.
A big congratulations again to Alyssa and Pearland's Dawson High School.
That is right. All students considered for the KPRC Texas Mattress Maker Scholarship have been nominated by their high schools. You can see today's first surprise once again and keep up with our winners throughout the semester by logging on to clicktohouston.com/scholarships. A 15-year-old from Wisconsin is being recognized for creating a board game that helps teach financial literacy to people with intellectual disabilities. Paige Givens was chosen as U.S. Cellular Future of Good recipient for her game design. She and 2 others were selected from 1,200 nominees nationwide. The teen was awarded $10,000, and she says she knows how she's going to spend it.
The first one is to help the Soar Fox Cities organization. They're sort of working on revamping their financial literacy program, and I want to help them with that. And I also want to be able to make copies of my game and then give them away to teachers in our area.
It's amazing. Well, she is working with a professional artist to perfect the design of her game. Philadelphia Flyers mascot Gritty is up to his usual antics. He tried his hand at basketball against a pair of nuns with a big crowd of students there. One of them goes for the catch and shoot. She immediately fires up the shot, but Gritty's not fooled. Swats it away. Needless to say, these sisters wanted none of getting schooled by Gritty.
She had a pretty good dribble there,
I know, right? He's like, not in my house.
That's going to cost him 10 Hail Marys right there.
Yeah, seriously.
Do that to Sister Mary Frances, you're in trouble.
Listen, before we get started, happy National
Thank you,
Women's
guys.
Day.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Very nice.
The presents are rolling in.
I know. You know what? I wish I had better weather for everybody.
I was just going to say, we should have better weather for us today.
I really did, yeah. But we kind of knew this was coming today, so it's this is one of those funny jobs where it's like we always tell people, we don't mind, getting the tomatoes thrown at us when it's bad. Just we like it a little bit when it's nice too.
Exactly.
Give it a little attaboy there. But anyway, but thanks to all the folks out there that do it, including not only just us here on the broadcast side, but of course, the academic side and the very, very hardworking men and women of the National Weather Service.
Yes.
They do a really good job. Anyway, let's go outside and show you what we got. In fact, we were just talking to them on the chat this morning about that possible wintry precip that we might see late night tonight. So I'm going to kind of take that hour by hour here in a minute and just show you where I think that might pop up. It is still on the board. It's been added to some of our computer models, and obviously the same thing what Frank was showing last night, Britta was talking about this morning, is that there's some disagreement with that. Either way, the cold is what you really need to know about for the day today. These temperatures that are out there now sitting in the low to mid 40s to mid 50s, that's about where we're going to park it for much of the day. We may get a bit of a bump up to about, let's say, the upper 40s, 46 to about 48. But I think if you're on the north side here, if you're up near College Station, Brenham, Navasota, Madisonville, out in Walker County, y'all likely going to sit right at about 43 to 44 for much of the afternoon. It is going to be a very bitey forecast. Brisk is probably the best way to put it. Of course, the 24-hour temperature change, we're talking at least 30-degree drops, and it's still continuing to fall in Galveston because they started off right at around 70 degrees this morning and then started to crash into the 50s from there. Pretty steady northwest wind, too. 20-mile-an-hour winds in Katy. That's not helping things. It makes it feel even colder than it is out there. And, of course, some of the wind gusts we'll keep a watch on. Really interesting what's happening across the country right now, or at least down here in the southern plains. We've got everything from winter storm warnings and some heavy snow, could be upwards of 4 to 6 inches back off to the west of Dallas-Fort Worth. Look at this box that just popped up. This is a tornado watch box and some of these strong thunderstorms moving in towards Louisiana. So we've got a lot of activity around us, just fairly quiet for us here at home. Now notice our futurecast not initializing that well. It's got where the front is, but it thinks that there's some showers and thunderstorms out there that they're just not there. They're a little further east. They've moved in. But by tonight, here's what we're looking at as we go into the overnight hours. Some cold showers moving through, and then notice just a couple of quick pops where we could get a little bit of sleet, maybe some snow flurries mixing in. Most of it looks like it's going to be north of much of the southeast Texas area, up towards the Brazos Valley, for example. The ground is still very warm, though. Anything that does happen to fall, if it makes it to the ground, will melt fairly quickly because we're not expecting temperatures to get below freezing, so it shouldn't be any kind of travel concerns. By 6 a.m., just cold tomorrow morning, and then eventually we'll start to break out some sunshine, but it will remain quite chilly because even though we are going to get the sun tomorrow, that north wind is going to continue to move on through. So we'll keep it right at around 48 to 50 this afternoon. Watch those temperatures tomorrow morning, regardless if anything falls wintry precip-wise. That will start off in the upper 30s, and then eventually as we get into the afternoon, we'll only get up into the low 50s. So there's our winter days, and then as we mentioned before, hey, it's back to springtime. As we get towards the weekend, we'll be back up into the 60s and 70s, and we're going to keep those 70s on the board as well. Notice things get a little murky next week. A little front's going to hang out and unfortunately get stuck right on top of us, and so we will keep things fairly unsettled and a little rainy through much of next week. But if you like the cold, next 36 hours are yours. If not, grab a cup of hot chocolate and wait till Friday.
All right, Justin, thanks so much.
You bet, guys.
All right, would you help your child with anything at all cost? Up next, why you might be a snowplow parent and how it's hurting your kids. Okay, you've probably heard of tiger moms, helicopter parents. Well, now there's a new parenting style called snowplowing.
Health reporter Haley Hernandez explains.
There's a delicate balance here. Parents should be parenting when it comes to setting limits on social media or maybe a bedtime, but there's a point where some experts say back off. New college freshman Patrick Ward is proudly wearing the colors of the University of Vermont. Getting in was all his doing. And in an age of over-anxious parenting, that's a big deal.
I know a lot of friends whose parents were watching their every move.
That's one form of snow plowing. Mom and dad are so focused on their children succeeding that they remove any obstacles in their path, even eliminating any hard decisions their child has to make by making it themselves. The extreme version of it made recent headlines with the college admission scandal.
Snowplow parenting really just controls everything, and it often comes from a place of fear.
Snowplow behavior often doesn't stop after kids have grown.
I think early on, we were probably more snowplow than not.
That's when they turned to educational consultant and best-selling author Anna Homayun. She shows students how to achieve success on their own.
Our focus is really helping students identify, what are their own goals for themselves personally and academically? How are their daily habits moving them towards those goals?
The hard work has paid off. Patrick got a near perfect score on the ACT.
We were very, very impressed.
When you have high expectations and high belief in your child, they rise up to those expectations.
While snowplowing should be avoided, Anna does urge parents to be aware of their kids' daily habits to make sure they're in line with their goals. For instance, by being distracted by a phone or computer, homework assignments will take longer than they should. Keeping them focused by limiting their usage online can actually give teens more free time in the long run. So it's important to provide the time, space, and structure for kids to do their work. I'm health reporter Haley Hernandez, KPRC Channel 2 News.